like leaning my like existence towards the shit you telling me, is that like
manipulation? Oh, I'm sorry. Continue.
Is that what is that like?
I'm making it relatable to your everyday life, so then you could use it as a tool on your own to start.
So we like the same age. We in the same age range. So as a kid, the first thing we heard about when it wasn't astrology, it was a psychic. So that was the first thing that like came across our radar as young people, like psychics. There was hotlines, it was like commercials and shit. So with them, it was like, I feel like, what do y'all call them? The everyday thing?
What, horoscope?
A horoscope is general as fuck.
Who is them?
Yeah.
Because she only...
But no, I get what you're saying in general.
I just feel like my first knowledge of anything other than like Bible type shit was Miss Cleo and them. So when Miss Cleo and them came around,
we call me that shit too. That shit.
See, I already know like you said, like I can read the room. I can associate with people instantly. So I'm like, bro, you know what's disrespectful, what's gonna rub somebody wrong. So if I'd have came in here like, oh yes, y'all got Miss Cleo in the building, that's not a good like handshaker. Like, feel me, like. We know what that shit is like.
But honestly, like to me personally, I'd have been like,
I'm sure you've heard it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
so I wouldn't have got upset.
I'm for surely gonna hit you with the witch joke. Like that's normal. Like, but when people like get to know me, you know, like here come this nigga with the 2 or 3 jokes he's for surely gonna come with. Like my witch partner, what's up? But you know, I don't mean that more than just us laughing. But then it's like, well, my first knowledge of anything other than like what the people told me at church was
Miss Witch,
Miss Cleo and them. So. It's a psychic. Like, let us tell you tell you your reading. Bet. So when you hear any of that, anything on that line, it's like it's a bunch of general shit. Right. Like they say, or we'd see the little video of whoever speaking to a crowd. They'd say, "You got somebody in your family, they died," and you like, what? You like, bro, nigga, we all got somebody in our family that died, nigga. Then you like, okay. Somebody in your family's in their 30s.
Have you ever talked to a psychic before?
No, fuck no. I would never. To me, that's like, remember, we were raised around the Bible, so to me, that's inviting.
Listen, no, but
what is it inviting?
I'm going to tell you right now.
What is it inviting?
Whatever it is that they're...
So y'all about to make us be here for another 4 hours, bro. Please
my grandma is a church mother for a fucking Kojic church, so like...
A what?
Kojic. So that's Church of God in Christ. Like they are the most,
the worst.
I feel like backwards thinking, like women can't be pastors type of thing. Like we can't wear pants to church. Like,
but that's even where
they're more conservative.
They're hella conservative.
I know a lot of, especially black people. Like,
and
I know a lot of black
talked
like
to
that.
A psychic. Often.
What is it called? What's the term?
Church of God in Christ. Anytime you see it on the
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Nah, you have
You've
to.
seen
Now
it.
it's gonna,
now
you're
gonna
because the seed is now planted in your head.
COGIC.
Anytime you're in a black neighborhood, most of their churches are Church of God in Christ.
One, it's like, do you ever think about that? Like
God in Christ. COGIC.
It's like black neighborhoods, but it's like when you think about like white people, they're not really like. Your everyday white person is not really like, oh, the Lord Jesus.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like,
she about to get into a whole deeper topic.
My grandma is like,
the Lord Jesus.
The Lord Jesus. You know what I'm saying? I could never tell her that I've even paid money to talk to a psychic. Even if the psychic told me shit that I
now invited devil shit into your brain
and agree with, I can
That's
never
exactly what she's gonna
tell
you. She's gonna tell you that.
Never.
My dad, another Bible thumper, he would say the same thing. Like if you sit down with someone with any type of cards, any belief that's other than what we believe, right. what we were raised
literally
like,
my dad.
You're going to be
me personally, I think that kind of just like defeats the purpose. Because anybody not open-minded to learning something new,
but that's your adult mind. When you're a child raised up behind older people telling you that, that's what it is. But when you get into an adult, like I tell you, like now I'm in my 30s, I'm open to listen to everything.
And you know that just listening is not like you're going to be on fire or some shit.
Exactly. But to my dad, I'm not hearing that shit. In his voice, he's like, no. sir. I politely reject your offering to hear whatever you're talking about, because even the thought of hearing you talk about anything, whatever, is sorcery or some type of idol worship. Or if I tell you, your rocks, I keep calling them rocks.
That's okay. Everybody call them like they rock.
He's gonna say that's some type of idol worship. Like, you're worshiping these. As a young person, I love sports. Like, sports was my life. Hoop was my life. I had Kobe jerseys, Scottie Pippen, Tim Hardaway. Like, bro, Pops would hate me wearing jerseys. He couldn't stop it because that was my passion, but he would be hot. It was just a thing about his beliefs. So he'd be like, "That's idol worship, son. You're worshiping something."
It's really crazy to me. Like, I try not to really like get too into religion and shit like that, but like idol worshiping or energy harvesting, that's what people
are doing with God.
So listen, like this is that's what I'm saying. So just how like Justin say like he could see a terrorist and he can see he has terrorists in him, so he can see a terrorist. I feel like people can see that in a sense their energy harvesting or idol worshiping in a sense as well. So it's all really the same. You get what I'm saying? But like that's why I was saying, like, if you notice, like, white people, I feel like before we had all this Christian, all this stuff, this was something that was used to colonize. You get what I'm saying? That's why, especially women, because we were very powerful. You get what I'm saying? I feel like men are not no less powerful. You get what I'm saying? But women, like, again, like the conjurers, like we have the ability to heal because we give life. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah, we're going to make you be a witch. We're going to make you be like this. We're going to make the natural woman, because the real term for a witch is a natural woman. They're using these natural elements, the stars, the fire, whatever, to heal and lead. They don't want you to do that. So that's why we're going to make you feel like that. Because my dad was like that. Like, as a kid, turtlenecks, like, nothing, I can show nothing. Literally, what? And I was always a tomboy. So it was like, I want to box, I want to play basketball, I want to do all that. Then start fucking with bitches. Oh, the world was ending. Like, you're going to hell.
Definitely.
Fuck you. Like, literally, die, bitch. You're going to hell. You know what I'm saying? So it took a long time for them to understand it. And it was just like, because of that thinking, it made me rebel. Versus with my mother, she was more like, so it was like she kind of manipulated me by making me feel like I didn't have to rebel. So then I was able to be more open about things. Versus my father, he made me feel like I had to. So I was going towards the shit. Because he was like, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. And I'm like, what the fuck you mean? If you tell me to do something, I'm going to go do it. Because nobody's telling me why I shouldn't do it. You're just telling me this is what it is. You get what I'm saying? And I grew up on the Bible, all that. Like, so it's like, and then I was confused because here I am Baptist. Then I got this Catholic in my ear. I'm going to Catholic. I went to Baptist school until I was in 3rd grade. And then I'm going to Catholic school. So I'm confused now. So I have no real foundation. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, I understand what you're saying. Like, why, because somebody right now would tell you, I didn't even believe in God at all. I was like, I don't believe in none of this shit. It's just me out here. I don't give a fuck. God, nothing. Crystals, whatever, rocks, tarot, whatever. I didn't believe in none of that. And then I was like, damn. Okay, like now I had to take from every piece to be like, okay, like let me form my own thing. And what resonates with me the most. And also what doesn't make me feel like I'm hella like confined. What makes me just feel free to be able to do stuff. And I just have my own like little spiritual system.
But all Bible thumpers can find just so
this
now.
How like I could be an astrology thumper.
Just like how you're an astrology thumper and you make everything fit where it needs to fit.
Y'all don't remember me saying that earlier?
No, yeah.
That's exactly why I said it, bro.
Like religion,
that's why I said it.
Faith, all of these things.
That's why I said it, because you can say that to, let's say, for example, you can say that to my dad. He's going to turn around and say 1, 2, 3 about you, and you're going to be like, I knew you was going to say that,
I know hella Bible thumpers, and I'd be like, I don't disagree with them. I don't disagree with them at all. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like the difference between me and Bible thumpers is that I'm not like this.
Because my dad tells me, like, and you can record this or not, but he says, one of the scriptures say, don't listen to a man that leans on his own understanding.
Yeah.
But why, but...
What does that even mean?
Lean not on your own understanding.
Right, so I have to actually trust in what somebody else is telling me about something instead of what. Now this is where me and my pops are really close. We didn't speak for like 3 years. When I was going into manhood, we didn't speak because my mom said y'all both alphas. Y'all either gonna argue or y'all not gonna stay away from each other. So when we started talking again, I apologized for being a dick. Then I'm like, look, I need you. Let's talk. But in us talking, he said shit like that. A man's not supposed to lean on your own understanding.
So
blah,
what
blah,
understanding do you lean on?
Exactly. So now you're telling me, as a grown man, I have to listen to something you learned that you didn't know from the jump. You didn't know this from birth.
But to the defense, I feel like they're saying listen to source. But my thing is, in order to hear source, you have to know yourself. That's why what I just said, I trust my gut first and foremost before astrology or whatever. Because astrology, look, I know somebody right now, we 10 out of 10 compatible. But I know for a fact that motherfucker crazy.
Right.
And I'm not going to fuck with them, so I'm going to end up in the body bag somewhere.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I trust my gut over that. So it's like, but that's source in me moving. That's my intuition being like, oh no, that's not good. How can I hear the understanding or, how can I walk by faith if I don't know myself? So I feel like you have to learn yourself truly on all different lenses in order to really get closer to source, if that makes sense. Because I feel like ever since I started learning this shit, like, I feel like God be real loud. And I still believe in God. I have my own God. People be like, God don't like this, I don't like whatever. Because everything is subjective. Right. And at the end of the day, who wrote the Bible? There's things that we don't know. Just like, who really made astrology?
That was my question.
So, and see, to be honest, being around a person that lives and dies with their Bible would say, the first minute you start questioning shit, now you're wrong.
Nah. Because...
And that's why we was raised. We was raised like that. Like, if you asked any questions, it was like, listen, this is the teaching, A through Z. Learn it, know it, live by it. So it was like, once you question it, it's like, wait a minute, is your faith fucked up? Right. I'm like, no, I'm just curious.
But it's like, how did this even get here? Like, how did this even get here? Like, I have to question these things in order to, like, my mom always like, I don't question God, but like sometimes I want to ask because I need more understanding. How can I lead on your understanding if I don't know? Some things I just be like, all right, I just listen. All right, but I feel like when you know yourself, you'll know like what to question and what not to question. You feel me? So it's like, but when it comes to like talking to psychics and all that, I feel like it's weird to me because if God gave us all these gifts, why would God give someone that gift? Because even Lucifer was an angel. So he even had his gifts. The motherfucker was casted out, but he even had his own gifts. You get what I'm saying? So it don't make sense to me. Like, I talk to psychics, like, even when you learn about yourself, you get closer to yourself, you start realizing you have gifts that you don't have. Facts. That you never knew that you had. Yeah. Because I never knew I could talk to people that's gone. And it wasn't until, people was like, yo, you need, I'm like, what the fuck going on? Motherfuckers waking me up in the middle of the night. You get what I'm saying? Or I can hear people thoughts sometimes, like shit like that. It get, everybody is gifted because we all have gifts. Everybody's gifted in their own way. So it's like, I got to know myself and I was like, damn, like I'm really deep in this shit now. Like now I have like, this shit didn't open up something else. So I get when people say like,
wait, you said you could do what?
What you mean?
What was part of the first thing you said you could do?
So
talk to me with us go.
Yeah. Okay. So sometimes you go through shit in your life to lead you other places. Right, for sure. And have you guys ever heard of like Reiki? So it's like a spiritual massage and whatever, right? So I had like a Reiki massage.
No, what is it?
Who does it?
So a Reiki master. So it's like somebody that
has studied and knows.
Yeah, so like
explain what
so Reiki is like clearing. So you have chakras what are called like energy points in your body. So they kind of clear. It's like a massage, but it's a spiritual massage, and it clears your energy, and it like it opens you up in a way, like clears you out of stuff, right? Like, how they say like, oh, you got a spiritual tie, you got a cord with somebody, like you can use Reiki to cut those cords. So like during that Reiki, they was like, like you're what they call a medium, somebody that's in the middle of the afterworld and the the world like us right now. I don't don't want to do that shit. That shit's scary as fuck. So I was like, yeah, no, that's not something I'm trying to do. So that's why when people say like, I don't want to open up shit. It's like, yeah, you can get deep with it because you're learning yourself more and you're in tune it. You know how they say like you only use like 10% of your body or some shit like that.
So look, pause. I've read this and like I know this for a fact. So you use 8% of your brain, but they say the smartest people on record use up to 10%.
Right.
So if a nigga like what's his name? Einstein used up to 10% of his. Us regular niggas, we use a 7.8.
He was a Pisces, you know that?
Makes sense.
But you know he was so smart. He used to forget his pants. He used to forget where he lived at.
So there's a thin line between
genius and insanity.
It really is.
For sure.
He used to call his secretary to remind him the address, so he could tell somebody to take him home. Because he'd be out wandering, thinking about physics and shit.
But see, that's before dementia was a thing.
But then
But to your point, for me, right, that's what pushed me to therapy. Because I felt like I got to the point to where I thought I was losing myself to where I could never find it again. And I was like, okay, at this point, because I had people around me that before I ever went to therapy, I was telling them they need therapy. So in me telling them that, it was like, damn, nigga, like you seeing something in them that you see in yourself.
Yeah,
but I think also when you're on such a higher level of thinking, like I had a roommate who was a math major. That nigga could not do simple math.
But the most intricate shit.
The most intricate math he can fucking do. And it's like when you're on a higher level of thinking, you almost forget like there's something beneath this.
That's why you need like balance, because it's like, what's that saying? As so below, as above, or something. Like you need to balance yourself out.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Tell me more about this, please. What you were just saying.
The fact that he can do simple fucking math?
That instantly, like, that makes sense. Like
no, but
he couldn't. He was a math major, and he could not do simple math. We'll be asking him simple math problems, and he'd be like,
he's so far up the ladder, he's not even thinking about the bottom of the ladder.
Like his mind is so far removed from the foundational shit.
That's like being autistic.
That it's like, like,
is that a form of autism? Really?
I know a kid, like kids. I had an autistic child that could like do shit, like literally math, calculate everything, but literally had no social skills at all. But literally like I had to make fake money so he could add it up to like help him with his behavior. Like here go your money for the day, here go your $5, put it in your bank, but couldn't do regular shit. Couldn't even walk in the room, but could count money, decimals and all the shit. You're in the second grade. That doesn't make, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how would you say somebody like that how can you coexist with the rest of the world though?
I mean, he was able to. He joined the fraternity and all the shit, but it's just like.
But is that again just a form of adapting? Because again, as humans, we naturally have to adapt.
Yeah, he had to adapt. It was like still when we would ask him, like, "Hey, I need help with this statistics problem or whatever the fuck," right? This nigga is on fucking astronomical levels of math, so he like, I don't know. It don't mean nothing to me now.
But I'm asking
because I've already superseded that.
And I went through something similar, right? And I'm not saying I'm like a genius or nothing, but I went through, like, I never could do math and show my work. I just could get the answer. So I would get in trouble for that. But my son has that same problem. So that's why I'm so intrigued because my son can literally, you know the little claw game at like the arcade where you pick up shit? My son, I swear to God, at 3 years old, will be like, let me check my calculations. And then he'll go and then press the button and fucking pick that stuff up.
Oh, no,
I swear to God, bro. No.
That's crazy.
You ask anybody in my family, from my daughter's mom to my sisters, me and my son goes to arcades and we come with a bag full of stuffed animals because he just wins everything. But everything, other day he said, Daddy, can you buy me some V-Bucks? I said, yeah. He's like, oh, I didn't tell him how much I was going to buy him. I just said, okay, sign off, so I'll sign on my PlayStation and I'll buy him, blah, blah, blah. He immediately signs on. He's like, oh, I thought you were going to buy me the skin, but no, you bought me the V-Bucks. And he says, oh, if I buy my V-Bucks if I buy the skin I want, I'm going to have 800 V-Bucks left over. Like that. And he's 7. And these are like, you have to carry the number and all. And it's like, for somebody like
21s and
for somebody like me, who I used to get in trouble for that. I swear to God, my mom will tell you, bro. As a kid, my teachers would be like, and my mom would fight that, like, bro, you can't mark him wrong because he's getting the right answer. And I would me, the asshole in me, I would no, I'm not showing my work, bro. Like, I got that.
I got the right answer, right?
So I'm asking that, like, how do you? Because I'm worried about that for my son.
Like,
honestly,
I mean, Kate is the same way.
To where she like, you don't gotta tell me.
She don't show her work.
It's a different level
she'll
of
ask me like, "Do I need to? Do you think I need to show my work on this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you have to show your work because your fucking teacher wants to see it." But I think it's the educational system. I talk about this all the time. It's like
it's so dinosaurish.
Exactly, and there is an idea that you need to micromanage what the child is doing to understand that they are mastering that concept.
Like, no,
because there is so much technology. I need to know that you really did this on your own, and you didn't just Google it.
But in our days, it wasn't as much technology.
Yeah, so like in 8th grade, I was like that.
At the end of it was we weren't doing it right, but I was doing it. I knew. In high school, I knew I could Google a question, and 9 times out of 10, the answer key to whatever I was doing was gonna pop up. I knew that.
You're not that age where I can't ask you how old you are. Huh?
She's my
I'm
age.
30.
She's the same age as me.
So look, I ain't gonna lie. I'm 33, 34, and it was a thing, but 1 out of 100 kids was actually doing it. It was we didn't search anything, but I know now for sure my 13-year-old, I'm sure they're Googling answers.
Yeah. But like my 7th graders, they're not. They don't know that yet. They don't know that they can Google something that I'm asking them
and get the
and realize that the curriculum is online,
right.
And they'll get the fucking answer key. They don't know that yet. But by the time I was in high school, I had recognized that because I was Googling so much shit. And by the time I Google it, the answer, even in college, the hardest fucking class ever, fucking, what was it? Physiology. The hardest fucking class to pass in my major. I Googled one fucking question.
And got the whole answer key.
The answer key popped up. I'm like...
That's good manipulation. That's great manipulation.
Yeah, see,
that's crazy.
Like, it still works.
But I'm saying at earlier stages though.
But even now, Kay was doing some math. She was asking me, I didn't fucking know. It was area or some shit. But it was beyond the scope of area that I knew.
All right.
I'm like, I know y'all doing Engage in New York. I know you're in 3rd grade. I know you're on module 4. Let me Google it.
And you found
it came right up. I'm like, this
that
is how
still
you
doesn't
do it.
answer how Kay can process shit the way she can though.
Like, my 8th grade teacher,
I don't fucking know why
I used to get in trouble for that. Like, I used to get in trouble for that all the time. And my 8th grade teacher would be like, she thought I was cheating or I had a calculator or something, and I didn't. I just I never show my work, right? So one way, I remember her, Miss Webb. One way, and she knew that I like to talk and be so she used that. She manipulated me. She was like, show your work because I want you to teach the class. I need you to show your work. So that's literally how she made me show my work. And she made me practice for 2 weeks so I could teach the class, literally.
And I'm not gonna lie, that's how I learned the periodic table. At Tech, 10th grade, our chemistry teacher, he was like, I don't know if y'all know Ashley, Pretty Money on Twitter. She was in the class. It was just, the class was a mess, okay? He let this girl Champagne teach the class one day how to do the periodic table.
And you got that shit.
Everybody got it.
Because that's what she was saying. She was like, that's when I've learned about they call it fade-in facilitation. And then when I started teaching, that's what I started doing. So I was like, damn, because sometimes when, if you ever notice, your friend will tell you something that your parent been telling you, but you retain it better because your friend is telling you. So I'm like, damn, if you set it up like that, these kids that are having these issues and you make them kind of boss up in a sense, then they'll boss up the rest of the kids. And then she was just like, yeah, you did so good. So every other week I was running a math class and I had to show my fucking work. And I didn't want to, but I was like, I want to be, I want to be a teacher. And I had to do homework for the whole week. So that was
But
like.
that's even deeper than just teaching, because I feel like I do that as a basketball coach. That's why I can teach kids how to play basketball a certain way, just because of I'm making it relatable.
Because you recognize how to do.
Exactly.
And that goes back to astrology.
I've never seen my dad play basketball. Right. Have you ever seen my dad play basketball?
I've never even seen him shoot a basketball.
Never. Right?
Never seen him shoot a
Never
basketball.
ever. And this nigga has been coaching basketball since
what is the coach?
1987.
What's the shit? The Rebels?
Yes. Since 1987, he's been coaching basketball. Probably before that.
Before that, he started the Rebels in 87.
Right. He started the Rebels in 87. And he and I are 30 years old and have never seen this nigga
ever
actually play basketball.
Never seen him shoot a basketball.
I know in basketball, they say you got like basketball IQ. It's like a whole thing that you have.
Most great basketball coaches weren't that good in basketball.
But you know what's funny? My high school coach, person was as big as his room. But his basketball IQ was through the roof. Wow. Like
I don't watch. Everybody knows I don't watch basketball. I don't play basketball. My friends know that. They all go play. They know. I graduated college in I finished college in 2013. I've probably hooped it 10 times since then. 10 times total. And that's stretch. That's a stretch. And my friends play basketball every week. I coach basketball all the time. My kids, they be like, "Coach, I bet you I can beat you 1-on-1. You could."
So is that basketball IQ?
I just don't. It's not fun. It's not fun for me to watch basketball because I'm not watching it for entertainment. I'm watching it to break it down and articulate. Why did you run to the post? Why did you get to where you should? That's what I was just gonna say.
Me and my partners, like me and one of my niggas, I consider my best friend. Me and this nigga used to call each other the best backcourt in the league. Like,
wait, can we wrap this up really quick? Because we've been here for a long time, and then let's wrap this up and we can finish our combo.
I believe you're knowledgeable in your.
She's great at what she does.
In what you do. You can make a non-believer listen.
Yeah, because I feel like too.
There were several points you agree with.
I appreciate that because nobody can make anybody believe. You make yourself believe.
Fact.
So I could never convince. That's why, like, somebody was like, "Oh, like, yeah, try not to convince them." I said, I just lay the facts. If the facts convince you, convince yourself. If you want that, you know. So I appreciate that.
But since people always want a bottom line, there's always like an ending to everything. Everybody wants an ending. Like, they don't want to just be like left at the end of this YouTube. Like, so did this nigga believe it or what? Right. I believe it's something to listen to. Like, I won't like shut it out completely.
You're more open to learning.
I've always been open to learning, but I don't want to listen to a boob try to tell me about.
Boob? What's that?
You know, just a random person who don't really know shit.
I've never heard that term.
Yeah.
But you never heard anybody say any boob can be a parent or any boob can woo.
What the fuck? No.
No, sir.
But look, that just means like anybody. Yeah. Like I tell you, most of the influence I've got from it came from anybody. Like just anybody on any of the timelines I'm on.
Yeah, and it's it's a popular thing.
Talking to me personally made it like, okay, I can cancel all that out and like at least listen to somebody with some knowledge. Am I on your side? Nope. Like, I'm still a Libra, I guess. I'm still a whatever sun, or whatever moon. But yeah, I hear you though. Like, I can say that I hear you, but it's something worth talking about. Mm-hmm. But I still think I'm just me, just because of how I was, the storm I didn't walk through in life. But I also I can hear you, so I guess. I'm not gonna tell you you're not a crazy witch lady.
We can say.
Nah, you for sure a witch to me, but no.
But not crazy.
You're not a crazy one, no, for sure not. For sure not. People do the.
This was a great conversation, man. Mm-hmm. Let's sign out. This is a wrap. Or did you have a close?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, yeah, good. This is a wrap.